Sasquatch gets his stream set up.
Yeah, Moxie, I came out recently. I don't know if you must not have seen the video where CT and we both came out of the closet. He came out as a Gematrian, and I came out as a foundational Black American. So even though I am of unmelanated skin, I am still a foundational Black American, Native American.
That's because you're ghetto.
As fuck.
Fact.
Flo's credit score still hasn't recovered. He's not lying.
I wore my special hat.
Joke. Everything for the Griffin Estate. I thought I committed to the joke. Oh, he wants me to.
Mm-hmm. I like Griffin Estate. I mean, it's better than every other version.
It's got a good ring. It's got a good ring. I like how after a lot of consideration, Pax committed to the to his opinion, his perspective on certain dogs.
Is that Pumpkin?
It is.
Oh, okay. And he's sweet as pie. Yep.
In the vein of the joke.
Drive fancy cars, everybody know you. It's like you a trap star. You breaking down bricks, chopping up O's. Breaking down bricks, chopping up O's. You got big money. You drive fancy cars, everybody know you. It's like you a trap star. You breaking down bricks, chopping up O's. Breaking down bricks, chopping up O's.
I think that's Pumpkin's idol.
And Cynthia, you're just in time. We'll get started whenever Sasquatch says.
We're good. Go ahead.
Okay. The best part of the stream earlier that I saw, no offense, Sasquatch, it was when Cynthia went up and absolutely dog walked and manhandled that entire panel. It was good shit. We might have to check that out in a little bit. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Sasquatch is ready. Old Joe, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. It was me that contacted Flo and asked for this conversation. I've asked for two gentlemen in particular, specifically. One is Caucasian Sasquatch, the other is Chuck. The reason I asked for these gentlemen is, although I have not agreed with them all the time, Chuck in particular, I've disagreed with him quite often. I will say that I have, this is my opinion anyways, I have not seen either one of these gentlemen overtly lie in my estimation. This is not something I've watched. I have two separate tasks for you gentlemen. Caucasian Sasquatch, I would like to ask you for something. Do you know what projection is?
I believe I do.
I would like you to observe for projection on my behalf and call it out the instant you see it, even if you have a suspicion. Can we agree on that?
I will try.
Chuck, I would like you to answer all my questions honestly, if that works for you. If not, that's fine as well.
To the best of my ability, I will not lie.
Okay. We had a opportunity to have a conversation on Jack Talcott's panel earlier on today. That conversation did not take place. However, in the previous two streams that I've watched where Chuck participated, I believe I've seen something that is quite revealing. So I would like to ask Chuck a question now. Chuck, you said in one of our chat exchanges that it is very difficult to express in chat what was in your mind. You now have your opportunity to do so verbally. Can you do it?
Let me think back, because that kind of tore me up. What was going on, Joe?
Would you like me to reframe the question again?
It hit so close to home, the conversation that I was having with Jack, that I'm trying to remember, but go ahead and restate it if another way. Maybe it'll jog my memory.
Okay, and I may have to ask very pointed questions, which is the reason I've got Sasquatch here. Okay, Chuck, why do you continue to go back to Jack's panel when you have that relationship with him?
Because I've walked down that damn dirt road and I've lived through that pain. I know what that pain is. And I thought maybe, just maybe, I could make a connection and help him walk down that road. Does that make any sense?
It does, but this is where we're into tricky territory. I'm going to tell you, I don't believe you.
You don't believe me.
I
I
don't.
got, I quit the panel because I was in tears.
I
I
believe
was,
that.
I
I
was
believe
being
that.
honest and forthright with the man.
Can
And
I?
not only on panel, but we have tried to do this in private before, just to be called a no good cocksucking motherfucker.
I believe that you are deeply emotionally connected to trying to achieve whatever it is you go there every time for. And I also think, and I'm going to say this straight out,
Sure.
today I saw something I didn't see before. And I
What's
will
that?
tell you that I made an offer in chat, which I know Jack saw, for you and I to have this conversation on his panel, which he
Yeah, I
ignored,
saw it. Yes,
which
he
he
did.
ignored.
Yep.
And that is a huge indicator to me as to what may be going on. So,
And I responded in the positive each time you asked and each time Dennison asked. I said, I have no problem.
okay, there's something going on between you two that I have said on this panel, on Flo's panel, that I don't understand, but I think I'm getting a better idea of it now.
Have
So
you ever been
you're telling me that you want to help him.
with one particular situation?
What's that?
The loss of his son. I lost my family from drinking. I was able to get them back. I've lost a daughter due to other than alcoholism. I got a daughter out there that, Joe, you're gonna make me do it again. I got a I got
Hey
a
Chuck,
freaking
man.
daughter
Hey
out
Chuck,
there. I got no idea where the hell she's at. I don't know if she's even a fucking alive. I know what that
Chuck,
feels
hey
like.
Chuck, you cut this conversation off dead anytime you want.
No,
And
no,
this is
I'm
over.
good.
This is over.
I'm good. No, no, no. I'm a grown ass man. If I can't state the truth, then I ain't got no business opening my mouth. I'm
This
willing to
brings me
answer.
to what this is exactly why I'm here, Chuck, because I am seeing this happen on Jack's panel. And I think that there might be a scenario taking place that is taking advantage of this care that you have, these feelings, and it really, really bugs me. This is why
Okay.
the staff meeting has been called today.
Okay. Spit it out there so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me try and be as focused as I can. I have bitched and whined about this panel versus being authentic and non-authentic for what, 6 months?
Yeah,
And
at least.
authentic people tend to get hurt. Now, I said at the
True.
beginning of this panel, Chuck, that I've never seen you lie, which means that I think you're authentic. I think by going back there are people that may be taking advantage of this authentic thing that you're trying to connect with. And I am going
I
to, what you've watched me, Chuck, call people out. You watched me change my relationship with Dusty based on my conversation with the tomato. I'm going to do it again with Jack. I don't know if the guy's being honest with you.
You're muted,
Chuck, you're
Chuck.
muted.
Let me put this into terms that maybe people might understand. They may not understand. I don't know anything about drug addiction, how it affects a person, but I can speak from the from being an alcoholic. And that's what I try to do in my life. I try to reach out and help anybody that needs or wants help. I hear Jack asking for help, but I haven't found a way to offer it in such a way that he wants it. And when I say help, I just mean maybe a different approach to a problem. I can't solve his problems. It took me
Okay,
a
so
long.
Chuck, I hate to cut you off, sir. I want to ask you a very important question.
I'm
What
here.
if he doesn't want help? What if he just says he does? And he's using you to project that.
I've had that problem before many a times trying to help people in the program of alcoholism.
What's the cost to you?
As long as I don't invest entirely into their scenario, I'll walk, and I'll tell anybody this that's listening. I'll walk through to the gates of hell with that person, but I refuse. I will not cross back into the gates of hell because I've
Chuck,
been there.
what if you're being used?
And that's what I'm thinking after today, Joe. That's the impression I got because I talked to somebody afterwards that saw the program and they said the same thing. And I'm beginning to think that's what it's all about. It's
And
just
what
a
does that cost
ploy.
you, Chuck?
Nothing now because I'm done.
Well,
I made it.
okay, that's a quick answer, but I
It's
don't know how
because how, I'm trying to explain this. There's a love that a husband has for his wife. There's a love that a mother has for their children. But there's another kind of love that one drunk has for another. I don't know if this is making any sense, but
it's making
it's a
total sense, Chuck.
okay.
What
It's
if
a
what if somebody
it
recognizes that and takes advantage of it?
it wouldn't be the first time I've been kicked in the head, but I'm done getting kicked in the head. I had a talk after that show today. I'm done getting kicked.
Dusty, do you have
I
any
see a crack.
input here?
Hold,
I'm
hold
almost
on.
done.
Let me come in on this a little bit. Old Joe, have you ever had a problem with alcohol or drugs?
I wouldn't say overly bad. I would say there's been times when I drank more than I should have, but there's
Have
never
you ever
been times
lost a
where I had
job, a wife, a car, or anything like that because you were drunk?
no, no.
Okay, you've never had an alcoholism problem,
That's
right?
right.
You may have been too drunk sometimes and said some stuff you didn't mean, but when you're talking about someone who's hit rock bottom and crawled their way out of that hole, they tend to take a little bit of a severe stance on some things, a little more severe than like your average Joe Blow who, weekend warriors their way through an addiction. It's a little bit.
Agreed. So would you say that, Squatch, that would put that person in a position to be taken advantage of? If somebody knew what buttons to push?
Are okay. I think you were suggesting that Jack has taken advantage of Chuck through exposure somehow. Chuck's
I
not a
think it might be
YouTuber.
an accidental thing.
I
I
don't know
think
if
that
it's accidental. Chuck is excellent content. Anytime he joins a panel, he's at least going to react honestly. So you don't really have to worry about him trying to put a narrative in, except for anti-drugs and anti-liquor, and I don't have a problem with that. Um,
that's a great comment. So he's excellent content. So on one side, it's content and viewers, and on the other side, there's authentic, real feelings going on.
Yeah, because when I walk into that situation, I don't go in there for content.
I
I
know you
care.
don't, sir.
I care about other human beings. And I've told Flo this before. I care about other people. I've walked the walk. I know what it's like. It's not fun.
What if you have one person saying they care and meaning it, and the other person saying they care and not meaning it? What happens then?
Well, then you go nowhere. You get into a push pull, push me, pull me, whatever the situation is, a
Chuck, who
circle
gets
jerk.
hurt in Chuck, who gets hurt in that scenario?
Not me, because
Just
I'm not in,
hypothetical.
I'm not
Hypothetical.
invest. Okay, I'm not investing my life into Jack. All I'm doing is reaching out to offer him a possible way out. I'm not God or the creator or the whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to offer a hand up out of the pit of hell as opposed to living in the pit of hell.
So just hypothetical here, Chuck. One person says they care and really does care, and the other person doesn't give a shit, but says they care. Take
That
you out
makes
of the
me
equation. Who
that
gets
makes me
hurt more?
stupid. That makes me stupid,
I'm not talking
I
about
guess.
you. I'm just hypothetical. Who gets hurt more? And you're not stupid, by the way. I'll tell you that right now. So who gets hurt more in that scenario?
It depends how much you invest. If I'm not in it for the game, I don't play games when it comes to certain situations. Sometimes, yeah, I'll joke around and I'll act a clown and whatnot. But certain situations, I take it to heart because, like I said, I've experienced many a situations. I mean, I died twice when I was trying to recover from booze, so I know what the end result is, and I don't want to see anybody suffer when they needlessly. Go ahead,
It would
Flo.
it would be quite irritating if I had a not really a problem but claimed I did, and then somebody who really had the problem and was really about it kept trying to help me out of something that was a non-problem problem.
You
Which
might
I've run,
react.
I've
But
run into that.
you might be react by trying to push that person away, right? Because
Yep.
they're inconvenient.
They're inconvenient, and they'll shine a light on what can otherwise be just sort of dismissed as a little white lie. All of a sudden now is a recurring focus of an interaction.
And I'm
Chuck,
no
I've
saint.
asked all the questions I wanted to, and you were exceptionally brave in the way you answered. Thank you, sir. I know exactly what I was, the questions that I wanted answered have been answered now that I've come up here.
Joe, let me tell you, like I said, I'll joke around, I'll kid around, and I'll play stupid. But when it comes to things like that, I take it's part of my freaking soul because I've already know what happens if I pick up that damn bottle again. Everybody's going to get fucking destroyed. And
Yeah, but okay, I will say this, Chuck. What you don't, yes, you do have an insight that a lot of us don't have. But what that's blinding to you is the amount of people that are leeching off of your positive energy and don't give a shit about you at all.
I, oh, I've seen that quite a bit. I've seen that quite a bit today, and that's why I talked to somebody afterwards. I'm
One
like,
moment,
if I
please. I'd
go
like to
ahead,
thank the donator for the $5 they just sent me. I'm not going to say your name out loud, but thank you.
Say their name.
Can't do it.
you got one.
While we're on this, I'd like to welcome Bumpkin to the membership club. Welcome.
Is he Mexican or something? Pax Americana? Puerto
Yes, he is.
Rican,
Actually,
maybe?
he is. Yes,
Puerto Rican? Okay, I
he's
thought
Cuban.
so.
I loathe to give advice, Chuck.
Oh,
This is
I'm open. I'm open, dude.
this is the only piece of advice I'll give. Don't go back there.
I'm not. Like I said, I talked to somebody afterwards that I had them watch the stream and reflect back to me and realize I'm just a dog in this pony show. But see, what a lot of people fail to realize at the end of the day, I do not have to live in his problem. I do not have to take his problems on. My only job is to put out my hand to try to help somebody. And that's it.
That is the root of that. You remember, Flo, we discussed the root of this conflict, and it seems to be that's it. There's a hidden root that I don't think I got. And I
I
think I
don't have an
understand.
agenda. I don't have an agenda, Joe. I can't
No, I
fix
believe that.
nobody.
I believe you don't.
I
I
don't
think that
Oh, Joe, I don't think you're accepting his answers, or at least you're
take me through
assuming
that.
there are more answers than either he's willing to give or he has consciously considered.
Say
I
more.
will, when it comes to alcoholism, I will answer any question.
No, what I'm talking about is
Well-
the root of this relationship with Jack Talcott. And Squatch had a comment. I'd like to hear more about it.
I'm just saying that he's answered everything as honestly as he can, as far as I can tell. And your response is, "Oh, well, there's more,
And
there's more to it." Why?
I think I know why. Let me. It's. I also feel the same way as old Joe because I'm not convinced, and here's why. Chuck identifies with Jack's situation, and I don't think they're the same. On several levels.
Can you clarify that, please?
Yeah, and this is probably going to piss Jack off. I've been kind of hinting at this for a while. I don't think that. Well, I think that your drinking problem, and his drinking problem were mountain to a molehill. But mostly, I think that you talk about your family and the people that around you, and you love them, and he doesn't. And you can tell because he refuses to. And I've asked him this. I said, would you accept your family, your son back into your life if they don't acknowledge that you were correct in the past? Could you start fresh and go forward? Could you accept them if they don't change anything? And
Yes.
The answer I got was, well, I didn't really get one, but if somebody's only acceptable to you if they change, you don't love that person. You love the idea of that person. And
Correct.
you and him are worlds up. I think that makes you two worlds apart. So when you could sit here and you explain his situation as if it's the same as your situation, it might at the surface level look like that, but I think there's a massive fundamental void between the two of you.
Yeah,
I'd
and
ask
that's something I discovered tonight. Go ahead, Sasquatch.
Yeah. Do you think that alcoholism is the root to Jack's problems yourself?
No, alcoholism is but a symptom of what the real problem is.
Okay. All right. Do you think that curing the alcoholism would solve Jack's problems?
Nope.
Okay.
Unless you do the thing that Flo talked about, the inside work, or what do you call it, shadow boxing or something?
Shadow work, integrating the
Shadow
shadow.
work. Yeah. Unless you deal, you could take a drunken asshole, sober him up, and if he does nothing else but quit drinking, you still got the asshole. Unless you work on the asshole, you've done nothing.
That is true. So when you go to Jack's and you have these little muss ups that happen, why do you okay, first of all, do you have any responsibility for anyone else's actions? Are you responsible for helping people? Do you have to?
Well, every morning when I get up, I say a simple prayer. I ask that let me be a maximum service to God and to others. I don't know what form it comes in, but let me be a maximum use to others.
Okay. I'll remember that when we get really hungry. But until then,
I got chickens and I got crops.
Okay, we'll remember that too. We'll get to those before we get to you. But my question is, why do
hit me?
I'm trying to phrase it correctly so that
you're not going to hurt me.
I'm not worried about hurting your feelings. I'm trying to phrase it so that I get the answer that I'm actually asking about. Do you think you are the correct person to help Jack out of the situation he's found himself in?
Apparently not. That's what I've discovered after today. Because I put my heart on the line and it got plumb kicked. I mean, plumb kicked.
Yeah,
I don't do that. I don't do that often. I throw my heart out like that, and it's usually on a one-on-one situation when I'm working with somebody else. But to be totally disregarded for honest, emotional, raw, sincere life happenings like that taught me a lesson today, whatever.
How long
the
have you
hell
been
it
in
was.
recovery for?
I sobered up in 2000. Do the math.
So 25, 24, 25
Yep.
years.
25. April
got
10th was 25.
So Joe, what did you, when I sort of answered your question, what did you think about that?
I agree. I agree. And I think the biggest difference is you said that the two scenarios are different. And I know this will annoy Jack, and I'll be even more pointed about it. And I say these things, both of these individuals make this decision consciously. Chuck, take him as you will, is who he says he is. Jack is not who he says he is. And Jack knows he's not who he says he is. And that's the difference between the two individuals. And Chuck, unfortunately, is reaching out to a person who Jack says he is. And it's a shadow, which leads only to pain on Chuck's part. And another thing I will add is that there are a number of flying monkeys orbiting Chuck or orbiting Jack who will support that when Chuck exposes himself or is vulnerable on panel, which makes that even more dangerous.
Yeah, Jack.
So
What's that dude's name? Philip Simple Jack. He didn't do him any favors today.
I want
The
to
way
point
he
out
was.
that the comment on screen is from a person that's never met Jack.
What the hell does it say?
Messiah complex or just begging for attention. Being old is lonely.
yes, I am old and lonely. I hope she's referring to me.
I think that was a scatter shot. She doesn't care
I'm
who
38 and I'm the youngest one here, so it's applying to all you fucks.
right?
Fuck you. Yeah, young cocksucker.
Hey Chuck, before I go, I will say that I will say flatly that you're shooting at a shadow. And there are people there that within this panel, when you go on there, that have something to gain by supporting Jack. They have attention, they have a place, belonging. But what they don't have is authenticity. These people aren't telling the truth.
Well,
And so
Joe,
that bugged me today especially when we gave Jack the opportunity to have a conversation on panel, which would have cost nothing. It would have taken 5 minutes or
well,
less, like
you
we had
see what
here.
he did. He instantly kicked me.
Yeah. So that's it, man. I am done. Thank you, Dusty, for having us up.
And Joe, that's a mistake that I've made. I continue to make it times. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to learn. But when I first came on these panels, because of my no true everyday outside contact with the real world, I'll put it like that. And I thought it was a place to interact with real people. So I came onto YouTube as a real person. Within the first 3 months, I got kicked in the head so many times. It was so I started putting a shield up. I started putting a guard up. That's why when me and Flo first met, I had this I put this big obstacle between me and him. But
You did?
yes, I did. But from being around you, from
And you
talking
grew
to you,
like a boss.
you've taught me to think differently on some things. And I'm much appreciative for it.
Well, I appreciate the support, and I'm glad that I haven't let you down. And I guess I'll just put my thought out there on the Jack situation, and then I won't bring it up anymore. Out of respect to both of you, I think that I would like to see you not help him anymore.
I've told you I'm done.
Yeah.
This was it.
You don't. Yeah,
I
you don't
mean,
know anything. I'm just throwing my thoughts out there. You can do with them what you want. Leave them alone.
Jack kicked me once or twice, and I think it was the second or third time I had to leave panel because of the pain from my situation that I went through. He was bringing the pain back to me, and it had me in tears. And I normally don't do that. And I thought, wait, I'm not going to let this son of a bitch drag me back into hell. I fought too damn hard and too damn long to live a decent, productive, useful life as best as I can tell. If that makes any sense. I don't know if it does. A lot of people misunderstand me.
No,
But
it does.
if you guys got something to throw at me, throw it now or
No,
forever hold your peace.
that's my only thought. Like because I mean, I think we've been through addiction as well on the top row. And so I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think I get where both of you are at. And I think that
I just want to
maybe-
stress that it's not your responsibility to help anyone who's not willing to help themselves.
except for me.
And me.
You selfish bastards.
Yes, but we're honest about it and upfront. And I want
And Joe, I do want to thank you. I seen what you were trying to do over there, and I seen you got shit on just like I get shit on.
Well, that's telling you something, but I wasn't as concerned about. Yes, thank you, Chuck.
Because
what
I respect things you have to say. You might be younger, you might be older than me, but I respect some of the things you have to say, and I take that stuff. And I know you went up there with the best of intentions.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. This enigma between you and Jack has confused me for a long time, and I think I understand now what's going on.
And I
But
do
didn't
too.
like it.
I do too. Now that you broke it down the other way, where one's real and the other's a phony. One's using it for a prop.
I must have missed a hell of a stream today, huh?
It was pretty good, I thought.
I shut up
Until
right at the ass end as he was shutting down, and I gifted 5 memberships, and then I left. So,
well, he kept every time I tried to talk and be real, and I tried to change my verbiage. I tried to change the way I approached him, and he was like a freaking donkey. He kept kicking me right in the head.
Vinyl Pilled Wisconsin says, I quit drinking 18 years ago. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. I like my THC vape, but I keep my life simple, and I am glad I quit the booze.
Amen.
Into that, let's see, what do we got here? Oh, let's do it.
When you hear the
Praise
sirens
God.
or anti-aircraft guns, you must get under cover at once. If you're in the open with no cover, lie down. The most important rule of all is never to stand staring at the sky. If you don't take cover, you may get hurt.
Hey, Dusty, could I ask for one favor could you play me off with the calzone clip, please?
Don't leave yet. I
don't want
noticed
me to go-
too when Denizen was trying to play peacemaker, but I realized Denizen's kind of biased on his outlook too.
The man,
They weren't
I have no use for the man at all.
Because it was pound on Chuck. Jack was a saint, but Chuck was being selfish. Is
Well,
that
Chuck,
what you
you made a
saw,
really
Joe?
interesting- You made a really interesting comment in chat that I asked you to expand on. And forgive me if I misquote, but you said something like, why do I have to submit in order to get along?" or something like that.
I said, yeah, well, why do I have to submit in order to help a man? Or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
Yes. So that's a good question. And those that are suggesting that
And that's what they were
have an
suggesting.
agenda. They have something to
one-
gain themselves. What is it they have to gain by?
Superiority? I don't know.
Well, I think it's fairly obvious. They have a place, right? Like Jack does offer a place for these people to belong. It's a forum that they can come and speak their mind, and it's a community they can belong in. So
Was
if they
you
say those kind of things and they're just looking to belong, well, then right away they lose credibility. And I will have
what?
to admit, and I'll say this, and I'll allow the man to speak for himself if he comes up here later. I don't have any use for the guy. I watched him make accusations against Andrew Wilson and then run away when he was confronted. He's really not my type of guy. However, I don't want to say too much because he's not here to defend himself. And if he comes up later, he can speak his piece.
Now, Joe, was you there when I brought up the thing about the clip?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, there somebody made Ham Banana made a video clip of Jack being human, being vulnerable. And I was trying to use that. I brought that clip up to say, you showed your true soul, your true person in that clip. And it got turned around by all of them on panel that all I was trying to do was make fun of Jack.
What would the payoff be for them, Chuck?
Uh, Clout with Jack? I
Curry
don't
favor
know.
with him? Curry favor, maybe.
Who was on panel?
Denizen Hank, Frank Monday, was that his name? Somebody else. Joe. No, Joe wasn't up there.
Wait a
Somebody
second.
else. I can't
I've recently
remember.
heard that name before. Frank Monday.
I could
He's
be
been around
wrong.
here a handful of times.
There's a
Isn't that
fellow up there by the name of Andy, a new
Yeah.
guy by the name of Andy.
what
And the
was?
thing is,
Hold on. What was
the
homie's
reason
name we were looking at the other day with the rat blood? What's rat blood? Something rat blood.
Axis Rat
Axis.
Blood.
Wasn't his name something Monday?
Glenn.
Glenn Monday.
I don't. Was it? It was a day of the week. I don't know if it was Monday.
It was Monday.
and the thing is, Chuck, the reason I came up here today was because I recognized, or I thought I recognized, which is why I asked Squatch to come up with us to make sure I wasn't projecting. But I thought I recognized a scenario which we could spend 2 hours dissecting. But if you look up the term flying monkeys, it's an actual psychological term, and these are orbiters that will be around a person that has a dysfunction. And once you look up what that means and look up some of the characteristics of these type of people, you'll recognize that behavior in some of the individuals that hang around Jack's
Well,
panel.
see, and I tried to disregard them monkeys that were on panel. I wasn't even looking at chat other than well, I had got kicked off and Arpol had said something, and I got back up on panel and said something about Arpol. But I tried to totally, at one point, I was trying to disregard what the other panelists were saying because they were only intent on currying favor with Jack. And I wasn't there for that. I was trying to make an honest, heartfelt connection on some level. And I thought maybe, just maybe, the loss of a kid in that regard was enough to make that connection. But I see now that's what he wants. He
And to
wants
take
that.
advantage of that, to recognize that and take advantage of it would be a pretty nasty thing. Hey man, I really appreciate Chuck having the conversation. I really want to get Flo back to making money with this
Anytime,
channel.
Joe.
I don't want to disrupt the conversation anymore. That was a good conversation. Thank you, Dusty.
Joe, you have interesting shit to say. Don't be so quick to rush off. I can get rid of people who panel clog.
And I'm an open book, Joe, on this subject. I'll tell you right now, I'll be as open as you want me to be.
Well,
I have no shame. I have no shame.
I watched.
I got my fingers crossed for a little freaky deaky.
Maybe later.
For some reason, that's a trigger to me when I see somebody genuinely trying to connect, and I had never seen that before today. I would tell Jack that to his face, but I know that I would be booted off his panel the minute I did. In fact, that was my intention. to say that when I've said in chat, let's have this conversation on panel, on Jack's chat. So I
You
did
said
give
that a
him that
couple of
opportunity.
times.
I gave him that opportunity. He refused it, and that has changed my opinion of the man. So
Well, Joe, that's
that's all I
because
can say.
I'm confused, Joe. Don't you know that? I'm confused. I'm argumentative. I'm better than, which I never claimed to be. I am no better than the next man I run into in life or the next
Tell me
woman I
something.
run into.
Tell me
But
something,
you're
Chuck.
better than the next alcoholic you encounter.
How does Jack take advice when you watch people start telling him, "I think you should do this. I think you should do that." How does he take it?
It depends who it's come from and what mood he's in. But as soon as he sees my name, he automatically tenses up, and I do believe that's because he knows that I see through his BS.
There, see, now we're talking. See, this is what I originally was gonna ask. Right?
Wait, what?
No,
That I
Wasn't this whole
see
thing about
through.
you haven't seen through his BS?
Say that again.
The whole conversation now is that you haven't seen through his BS. Actually, let
But
me rephrase that. You haven't seen through your own BS.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Right. None of the things that you're reading in Jack are actually things that Jack just gave you the first thread, and you pulled the rest of what you projected the rest of that onto him. There's
Agreed.
very little about Jack's behavior over the last like 3 years we've known him that suggests that his drinking problem is sincere, or his family problem is anything but self-serving. So the fact that you've held on to or treated it sincerely for so long, to me, says that, I mean, it's projection.
Thank you, sir. This is why I have asked. This is why I have come up here with another individual that would observe my behavior and say, "Is this guy fucking up?" And saying things that are in his own heart, projecting on somebody else. Chuck, I think that's what you need. I think you need an outside observer, just like I've asked Squatch to be, to tell you, "Hey, don't do this, man. Don't waste time with these people."
I understand, and I'm very open-minded and open-hearted to these suggestions because
Like,
you guys are being real. Therefore, I will accept it as real. It's not. We're not up here shucking and jiving, joking around, doing this piddly diddly shit. We're not making content.
Yeah.
We're just having a heartfelt discussion.
And it doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm just giving you what it looks like to me, you know.
and
I
it
understand.
also doesn't change the fact that Chuck is legitimately up there trying to do good. And I will go back to that. One person is legitimately has good intentions and another doesn't. That's my belief.
And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be. My ideas, my suggestions might be shit, but I know what I had to do to correct the situation. But you're not willing to listen to any of my ideas at all. I've shut down automatically. And
Why is
and
that though, Chuck?
it's like I explained to you earlier. I've worked with enough people since I sobered up. The people that worked with me when I sobered up. Had it not been for them people, I would be dead today.
Yeah, but what if the
So
chaos is the goal? Solutions aren't the goal. Chaos in itself is the comfort zone. And somebody
that's
comes along and says, "Here's a solution."
that is what I came up with tonight after the stream. I realized I'm putting too much effort, too much energy, too much heart, like Flo said, reaching out to somebody that is not real in their walk.
All right, man. I really have some stuff to take care of, but I will say I claimed at the beginning that I didn't understand the nature of the conflict between you and Jack. I think I have a far better understanding. of it now, and it's not just entertainment to me. It bothered me what I saw today. So,
Well, I couldn't explain it in words in chat because I'm lousy at texting.
it is difficult. Plus, it's a limited amount of characters, right? You can only type so many characters, and then you get cut off.
And as slow as this old bastard is on trying to send a hi in text, we'd have been there till midnight if I tried to type that shit out.
Chuck, when we first
Well, you
when we
shouldn't
first
text
started
hi.
out- when we first started out, Chuck, it was a challenging topic for you. You were feeling a little emotional. Are you okay now? Are we good?
Oh, I'm
Oh, you know
peachy.
that's text.
I'm in excellent spot, Joe. I'm glad you brought these questions up to reinforce the conversation I had earlier tonight. It just made me understand that yes, it is the right decision that I'm
Thank you,
making.
sir, and thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Squatch, for agreeing to come up, and thank you, Dusty.
Hey, thanks for figuring out what I'm going to do tonight.
I appreciate it, Joe. Yeah, anybody want to throw anything else at me? I'm wide open. I'm an open book when it comes to this.
Just and I don't know why I have it. I assume it's for this situation. This pile of monkey shit over here. I don't even know why.
I like the 12 monkeys.
I have monkey shit over here too. I didn't know why either.
It's fucking
I hadn't
thing.
told her. Katie keeps cleaning it up. She's like, "Can we get rid of the monkey shit?" I'm like,
Is that what she was just doing? Was cleaning it up?
"Yeah, monkey shit."
Like I said, I'll bullshit and I'll carry on and I'll act a fool, but on some things I take deadly serious. I take it deadly serious.
We've talked a little bit. We've talked a little bit backstage. I think you
Yes,
got to
sir.
grip about how I function. I'm not here to
Yes,
take
sir.
anything from anybody. I just try to make folks laugh, and if they're not laughing, they can feel bad about themselves because obviously the joke was about them.
Exactly.
But that being said, I think you opened this entire can of worms too invested in Jack's outcome. Jack is not an alcoholic in the classic sense. Jack is experiencing some other things that are happening.
Marla.
You're
What?
Marla Sanger. Do you know the
Who the
reference?
hell is-
Come on, Sasquatch, you know all the references. Marla doesn't even have testicular cancer.
That sounds like you now.
She's the penguin in the ice cave, right?
Yes, she's the penguin in the ice cave.
Right. So, yeah, no, I think you took him on as a challenge because he basically denied your help when you gave it to him and then denied your help again, or took it and took advantage of it at the time and then didn't fulfill any of the things. And I know what you're talking. I know you know what I'm talking about when you take in an alcoholic who's gonna get clean, gonna get sober. They show up at the house, they're there for the first couple of days, they're freaking basket cases, and then suddenly they're ice cold, right? And
Yep.
if you look around, you'll eventually find either the cigarette burn, a missing top, a pulled tab, or something that's in the place that shouldn't be there, which proves that they're not getting sober. They are just drinking in secret. This
It's
is
usually missing items that they took to the pawn shop.
but maybe. The most recent guy that I had breezed through that was going to get clean. He would take his Milwaukee's Beast boxes and roll them up so small they would fit inside of other boxes, so that
Ooh,
he could take the boxes.
Milwaukee's best, the cream of the crop. Hot
Right.
damn.
Dude, that was better than he was drinking that Steel Reserve crap. Oh my God, he was a wild man drinking that stuff.
A bottle of 10 high to boot.
I'll stick with my rum.
Mike
Thank you.
says, for all those who are in recovery and or who was, or how many years sober, I salute.
Hey, like I tell everybody, if you want to drink,
there.
that's
No, turn
that's
that.
fine. If you don't want to drink, then let me know. But if you want to drink, I got no problem with that. I'm nobody's guardian angel.
Don't
Will
go
you
there.
I
be
just,
You're mine.
or you both were talking at once.
The last time I went to rehab was in the December of 2017, and I'm not big on the 12 steps or on that whole thing, but I've been. That wasn't the last time that I used, but I don't really count days. But I have. That was basically the beginning of the end.
I never went to rehab. I didn't get into that much legal trouble, right?
I didn't
And
either. I had zero.
my
Mhm.
legal trouble occurred basically when I was already in the process of getting clean. And so they were like, go to the meetings. And I was like, okay, fine. I was already over the initial withdrawal and was now in that point where I just have to maintain an iron will of not going and getting that thing. And this is what I mean when I say that learning to do nothing is sometimes the most difficult thing to learn, because most problems
Exactly.
you think you solve by doing something. You have to solve the problem, which means doing something, taking an action. But that's not true. Some problems really do just go away if you do nothing.
Well, that wasn't the case for me,
No, sure,
unfortunately.
I get that, but I'm just saying you don't have to act on every problem. Some problems respond better to inaction.
I white knuckled every week I went to a meeting. I was white knuckling it because I didn't give a shit about the meetings. I wanted to drink, and this
Mm-hmm.
meeting was keeping me from drinking. It interfered with me
Mm-hmm.
wanting to, and oh, it was a battle. It was a battle with myself, is what it was.
Sure. I went to the meetings. I did full participation. I got the tokens up to like 4 months or whatever when there was a change of people
Yeah.
in charge and things got different, and I didn't really like it. And I went. This is when I stopped going to meetings. I went to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting in a small town, and I walked in and knew everybody but one person. And I didn't say a word. I just went in, sat down, and I sat through the whole thing. We did the full participation and all of that stuff. And instead of giving money to the pot, these people all paid me a little bit of money as they left.
You are the dealer.
This. I didn't say a word. And as soon as they walked out, the chick that was running the meeting just stared at me and stared at that pile of money and stared at me. I said, those, madam, are ill-gotten gains.
Fact.
Literally blood money.
I mean,
She just
Flo
stared
knows what I'm.
hard, and I took
Flo
the money
knows what I'm
donation
talking
thing.
about. I spent a month and a half in the hospital. Flo, I thought Flo said he was in with a couple of drunks. It's
Yeah,
not
when I was
pretty.
in, so alcohol and benzos are the two substances that withdrawals can kill you. I was well, I was in rehab for meth. I have had legal issues with meth, but I was also addicted to benzos. And so for the first week I was in the detox wing. I was there's 3 beds in the detox wing, and I was the middle one in between 2 alcoholics. And
That was fun, wasn't it?
they were hallucinating. It was wild.
I
Dude,
died twice. Is the only reason I spent a month and a half there, because I didn't know if I was going to live through it or not.
my critical moment came. I was addicted to benzos because I was trying to quit the pills, right? And so I ended up getting addicted to benzos in the process of trying to kick the opiates, and ended up addicted to both of them. And when I was like, I can't live this way another day, right? Within 72 hours, I had a seizure, and I didn't know the level of like withdrawal that benzos cause. And so the first time I just kind of got up from it and was like, what the hell was that? And didn't really know what had happened. The second time my wife was there and witnessed it, and I had made no preparations for coming off of benzos. And I thought I was going to die. I full on believed it. And it wasn't just because consider, I'm also coming off smack basically. And so I'm miserable. I'm a walking nerve. I'm a broken tooth. I am like, showers hurt. The nice, warm, comfortable shower.
Oh,
hurt.
fuck that.
It was horrible. And then on top of that, there's the benzo shit, which is an entirely different ragged nerve. It's just a whole other thing.
How much were you on?
I was taking a significant number of Xannies.
I was curious. I mean, I think it makes a little bit of a difference on how much that hurts.
I was on a lot, but not over a long period. Maybe 2 months, 3 months, something like that. But it was
Xanax, benzos,
Xanax, Klonopin, and Valium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not well versed in that department.
Yeah,
they replaced. I think what was it?
I'm a walking pharmacopoeia. If you have any questions.
yeah. I wasn't actually planning on coming off of the Klonopin. I was checking in for meth, and they told me that if you have medication, bring it. We'll give it to you. Then when I got there, I gave them the pill bottle, and they said, "Okay, you're done with these." I went, "Oh shit, this is going to be quite the rehab stay." But
how long were you in?
Oh well, so that was the first time I went to rehab. They can't start. You don't actually start the 28-day program until you're out of the detox wing. So I was in the detox wing for about a week, and then I just was like, "I need to get
lucky dog."
But I got kicked out the first time. For my
kicked out of detox or rehab.
I got kicked out of rehab. I completed the detox thing.
Oh, okay. That's not unusual.
After about 2 weeks, and
that's not unusual.
Didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. They kicked me out officially for using, but I never failed a drug test. I never failed a breathalyzer. They tossed my room. They tossed my car.
Is it because you were being an asshole?
Yes.
Yep.
Trying to manipulate the system, I guarantee you.
I bet you he fought it every step. He fought it every step.
I highly advise if you're ever on benzos.
Hold on. I want to hear what Sasquatch is going to say.
All right.
I said, that's the problem with Dusty. He's not subtle. You know, you would stand to benefit quite a lot from a tiny addition of subtlety, right? Just a little bit of subtlety goes an amazingly long way when you haven't been using it at all.
Yeah, she said, tell him what happened when I went to. So the first time I went to rehab, I got kicked out for my charming attitude and no subtlety. The second time, I decided that I wasn't going to make that mistake again. This is a condition of my release that I complete rehab. I'm not fucking this up. I'm going to just whoosha. So I actually tried to like mimic her. She's the introvert here. She's the one that can, be subtle and stuff. And it freaked the fuck out of people. Nobody was buying it. At my graduation, counselors that I hadn't spoke to the whole time, they're like, when you first got here, we thought you were going to be fucking trouble. I was like, I was just trying to be chilling by myself. But yeah, whatever it is about my energy, nobody was buying that at all.
Yeah,
your aura. Yeah.
No, it's just that I bet you had facial expressions like a madman, bro. Your micro expressions were blowing their motherfucking minds because you were just chewing that shit down for the 6 months or whatever you had to fucking do. And I could see that. See, I can do the introvert. I can sit quietly in a fucking corner and not bother nobody. I can do it in a crowd. I can do it in a crowd of people that I like. The real weird part about this is if I'm not up doing the Sasquatch thing, people forget I'm in the room. They say the wild shit about me.
And if anybody else out there wants to come at me as far as recovery goes, have at it. I got a shield for that shit.
Is it the armor of God, sir? Because what we need is more money.
We do need more money.
Damn right. I started it off, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I didn't even know what we were talking about tonight. I got ambushed.
Yeah. Well, you knew more than I did. I didn't even know what the Jack conversation was.
Well, I had a thought, but I wasn't 100% sure. I thought
I polled my chat
maybe,
about whether or not this was an ambush, and I think it was 47% said it was, and the others were split between a ham sandwich and
well, I thought I had said something that pissed him off earlier. I wasn't for sure. All I got was a message that said, "Old Joe wants to have a meeting with me, you, and Squash." I'm like,
dude,
okay.
He on my chat earlier to ask me if I'd be available to do this.
So
with someone else.
I've already dropped the link for Club Owner tier members. If you would like the link early, sometimes exclusively, become a Club Owner tier member here on YouTube.
Chuck.
And then like Chuck, right? And then over on the post tab of the Powder Dusty, that's where I post the link early for Club Owner tier members. It's a post that's only visible to that tier member.
Like Chuck.
Like Chuck.
I'm on both of them. I'm double paying.
Yes, sir. I want to watch, before I open the panel, I'll open it here, but real quick, I want to watch Cynthia dog walk this panel.
All right, and later on, I want you to play that clip of Talcott if we get a chance.
You know what trips me out about Cynthia? Cynthia really doesn't like me.
No, she doesn't. She does not like you. She don't like me either, Sasquatch. But she hates you even more.
And real quick, I forgot to do old Joe. This one's for old Joe.
I bawled so hard they thought I was. I bawled so hard they thought I was a fucking nutsack. I got so much cheese in my pocket, they thought I was a fucking calzone.
All right, I kind of bumbled that one, but we got there.
What's a calzone?
It's a bunch
like
of cheese
folded over pizza.
Have you never been?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Too mommy-ish, you know. That's. I mean, it's like it's too much.
I guess warning harsh language. Imperius is here, and he's always terrible to listen to.
Not that big.
Well, doesn't Cynthia have a penis? I mean, I would hope she's not your type.
I don't know, but she has that mom thing where, you know, it's
well, I heard she has a penis. So.
It's completely unattractive.
Wow, this just got fucking off the rails.
The mom vibe for me is
Charles,
like I can't. It's like it's some men might like that, but I can't. And I'm like trying to be.
It's worth pointing out here real quick that maybe the reason that he feels like she has a mom vibe is because he seems like he needs a mom.
Ooh, that's deep. I like that.
Politically.
I think the Latin
correct
women have the best languages when they're sensual languages.
Well, hello, Cynthia.
Hi guys.
Dude, it's Chris.
Good morning, Cynthia. I'm sorry. I try not to go and say anything, but
If any other women would like to come up and be told what they like, please come up.
Cynthia, can I ask you a question? Are you a queen of spades?
I can't stand you. Stop talking to me. Charles, what were you saying?
No, are you a queen of spades? That's all I was
Charles,
asking.
what were you saying, sir?
I was trying to go and talk between OTW and Imperius, and I think my
OTW, I heard you laughing.
comment was just lost. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That was me. Probably OTW.
Well done, OTW. Well done.
I was trying to conceal my giggling, but I have to admit
a theory that men such as Imperius, who would be a perfect example, only comes up to panels and belittles women to impress.
Yeah, that's why they love it. That's why they suck my dick. They love it, dude. You women are effed in the head. That's what I'm saying. Ma'am, the problem is that you guys do want to be abused because it's all a game.
It's never too late to stop being a dick.
And earlier,
hold on,
when one
ma'am,
of
hold
you
on. Just let
said
me
the
explain
only
this. I know
reason
you better than
interrupt
you know.
me
I've
is you're
slept with
trying
more
to
women
throw
than
me
you
off
have.
topic of my thoughts, and that's
Ma'am,
exactly
I
what
know I've slept
Imperious
with more women
does.
than you have. I know.
I have concluded that men such as Imperious are jealous. They want
What
the
am I
attention
jealous
of
about? You
men.
guys, I abuse
They
you guys
want
in
the
bed. It's
attention of
sickening.
men.
Have you known what you know what women
Notice
ask
how
for
you
in bed,
notice
Cynthia?
his behavior. How was
Man,
it different from when
Cynthia,
a
do you
woman
ever ask
sat
to be
on the
slapped?
panel versus it was an all male panel?
Well, it's still
He's
an all
correct.
male
He made
panel.